Welcome back to Alpine Garage Sports. Today we're talking about Danny O'Neil and Antwann Hill. They decommitted from Colorado. What does that mean for the future of the quarterback role at the University of Colorado? That and more on this episode of Alpine Garage Sports. Well. So we knew this was going to happen. The season is upon us now where we have commits and decommits from our universities, and that's every university has this, and it's for varying reasons. A lot of it could be the fact that these prospects are thinking, hey, I probably have more high side opportunity because of the season I just had at my high school. And now I'm getting more interest. It could be the fact that there are coaching changes that always happen this time of year at universities. And Colorado has some really big coaching changes going on that actually mess with the quarterback role. So that is not surprising. And then also NIL pops up too. Coach said it in the last presser that he believes that we need to pump up our NIL fund in order to kind of go after some of these really big name prospects. So there's really no telling what causes these prospects to go into the portal. Each one is different. And sometimes there's a chain reaction. So one will happen, and then one that affects another role will happen. So if a quarterback goes, sometimes a receiver will go. If a quarterback goes, sometimes another quarterback will go, which really seems odd because Danny O'Neil was sitting in a prime position at that point when Antwann Hill decommitted. So that one is a little bit puzzling, but not alarming. And so that's what I wanted to talk about today is this is going to happen. We're going to have more QB commits before this whole thing is over. But I want to look at what we have in the stable already and explain why I don't think that this is necessarily a terrible thing. So first of all, the fact that we had such a shuttered offense the last part of the year could be a contributing factor as to the reason why we lost those two. Not to mention that we knew halfway through the season that we demoted Sean Lewis and we promoted Pat Shermer, which is a pretty big name. There was some confusion there, and there was some disorganization in the offense. The offense really didn't change that much until the last game. I can see how these quarterbacks might say, hey, they're already getting tugged on by other schools saying, look at that, look at what's going on at Colorado, look at our offense versus their offense. You're plug and play here, there, who knows what's going to happen. So that could be happening. But I definitely think that this OC change that's going on has something to do with it, right? Now, that is a very temporary thing. So that, they decommit. We have issues with OC. What's going to happen with our OC? Sean Lewis is out now. We get a new OC in here. All of a sudden, things can change. These guys can recommit. So let's just say out of nowhere, let's talk about Byron Leftwich. If Byron Leftwich were to come to Colorado, that would be a best case scenario. His tutelage with quarterbacks like Brady and the offense that he had with Tampa Bay, that would be huge for us. We would get the best quarterbacks in the country every year that he's here. Everyone wants to be coached by what they consider to be one of the best coaches in the country. And also that opens up tons of doors for him too, because then Byron Leftwich can say, hey, this quarterback, it would be great for the NFL, can go straight to one of the teams and say, listen, you need this quarterback, draft him. Okay, so that's huge. Now, let's say we don't get Byron Leftwich. Let's say that we stick with Pat Shermer or somebody else comes in that isn't as big a name as Byron Leftwich. We still have to run this offense, right? So that's what I wanted to go into. And I wanted to say that we still have a stable of quarterbacks, and I'm not going to go through the entire stable of quarterbacks. I'm just going to stick with Ryan Staub. And the reason why is because we have Ryan Staub right now, as of this video being made. We have Ryan Staub, and when Ryan Staub came to Colorado at the beginning of this year, everybody loved the idea. He was a great quarterback, 3-star out of California, number 47 quarterback prospect in the country. I mean, a very solid quarterback for Colorado. And the fact that a lot of people applauded his game management skills. He seemed like a solid fit at Colorado. Obviously, we have Shedeur, so, not anyone's really too concerned about that. Everyone was really worried about whether or not he was going to be a backup and what kind of backup he was going to be. Well, guess what? We found out. He actually came in a couple of games before, didn't look real sturdy, right? But then again, he hadn't played college football yet. Finally went into Utah in a very difficult game to play in, and did a solid job running this offense, and we actually were in this game. Really, the offense looked completely different than what we had it before. So what I'm saying is that Ryan Staub may be a good future for Colorado. Now, go ahead and throw down in the chat. Everybody get in there and let's start fighting this out, because I know a lot of people don't think that he's, a 3-star quarterback, that we need dogs, we need 5 stars, we need to go out and get the best. Okay, I get it. So I'm going to give you some examples of the reason why I think a good, solid quarterback that in his last game threw 17 for 24, 70.8% completion with a 152.8 passer rating. So, keep in mind, this is his first full game against a team that had won the Pac-12 championship twice in a row. So that's a solid game. Okay, and then you think, okay, well, he's only a 3-star, number 47 quarterback. Keep in mind, Shedeur was a 3-star as well coming out of high school. And he was the number 37 quarterback rated. So ratings really don't mean a lot. And let's go into it a little bit more. The last 2 national championships were also won by a 3-star, number 74 in the country. So what this comes down to is ratings are ratings. And that's why Coach said really early on, he doesn't really care what kind of stars a player has. He wants to see their output on the team. He wants to see their output on the previous team. He wants to see what their leadership skills are like, and as a quarterback, what your game management skills are like. So what I'm saying is Ryan Staub is right there in the middle of all of those guys. He was very highly rated, and in the one game that he was able to give us, he showed a solid structure. So what I'm saying is, bare bones, we don't get another quarterback, or we do get another quarterback, either through high school recruiting or through the portal, right? But Ryan Staub ends up being our quarterback at some point. And if Ryan Staub does, we need him to be able to be accurate, which he has shown he can be able to run an offense, which he showed he could be. And then at this point, we need an OC that can build a balanced offense so that he can manage that offense. And we can actually eat the clock and take the time of possession away from our opponents. Now, if we do this in the Big 12, we are going to decimate the Big 12. Okay, now let me give you some more examples. This year, let's look at the top 4 schools that are going, that barring some crazy stuff in a conference championship, are going to be in the playoff hunt. And that is, for instance, Georgia. What if I told you that Georgia ran the ball more than they passed? That's right. They have Carson Beck as their quarterback, which is a 4-star, number 5 pro-style quarterback coming out of high school. So they have a stud at quarterback. They have a complete stud at quarterback. But they run the ball more than they pass the ball. Why? Because that is a winning strategy. In today's football, that is a winning strategy. They pass 33.3 times a game and they run 35.3 times a game. So there you go. Balanced offense. Let the quarterbacks run the field, meaning get a good running game going. That's going to open up the passing game and you can decimate them with the passing game. But you got to have that running game going. Let's do another one. Let's talk about Michigan. Michigan has J.J. McCarthy. In high school, he was a 4-star, number 6 pro-style quarterback. Awesome quarterback. He was the quarterback of the future for them, and he's doing a great job. But what if I told you that Michigan ran the ball significantly more than they throw the ball? Michigan throws the ball 23.8 times per game, and they run the ball 38.3 times a game. And you think J.J. McCarthy is the best quarterback in the country, or a lot of people do. Their offense actually runs the ball significantly more, a third more than they actually pass the ball. That's game management. That's how you make a quarterback successful, is you have a running game that can open up the passing game, that makes a great quarterback awesome and a good quarterback great. Let's look at Florida State. Florida State had Jordan Travis, and they're the 4th ranked team in the country, and they pass it evenly. 32.1 times they pass, 32.8 times they rush. So very even passing offense. And Travis Jordan out of high school was a 3-star, number 24 dual quarterback in the country. So, a 3-star again, and very highly ranked, but not like a top tier quarterback. And people think he is the best quarterback in college football right now. So there you go. There are 3 examples of why the running game needs to be a focus for us, not quarterback. It needs to be running game. It needs to be running game. It needs to be offensive line. It needs to be OC. It needs to be offensive line coach. Those are what we need, right? Because we already have Shedeur for next year, and we have Ryan Staub in the wings. And if we get what we think is a better quarterback for Colorado, then great. That's the way the game works. You go after the best quarterbacks. You go after the best positions you can. But just remember that we have Ryan Staub waiting in the wings. And as far as I am personally concerned, I think what we need to invest in him. I think that he could be the quarterback that takes over for Shedeur, and that he could run the offense that I'm saying and that a lot of people are saying is the offense that we need here at Colorado. And in the Big 12, we will absolutely stomp everybody down in the coming years. Add in some really highly ranked receivers, people with good hands, and Ryan Staub can get them the ball with a good running game, and they could just take off, and we could be lights out. So tell me down in the comments if I am, getting into this way too much. But I think that we have something going here. I think Coach Prime has built something here, and I don't think that we need to really start pulling it apart too much. We need to focus on what we need to focus on, but there are some areas that if we actually develop the players that we have, we're going to be devastating in the Big 12. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. We'd love to have you here in the Alpine Army, following the CU Buffs, following college football in general. This is going to be a fantastic offseason. I will see you in the next video, and thank you for making Alpine Garage Sports part of your daily clicks.